The thing that cracks me up when we play teams and you're listening and they're screaming, watch option. All right? I'm like, yeah, which one are you watching? We have triple with like 4 different tags off of it that are based on what defense you're in. We have midline with 3 different tags. We have like 4 double options: speed option, trap option, counter option, and dive option. All based on what you're doing defensively. So the watch option thing, yeah, watch it. That's what we're running. But for midline here, to make it real simple, okay? Not to make it real simple, but to keep our rules simple, where I can teach it as a simpleton to our kids that are at different levels of intelligence, okay? Our rules stay the same no matter what midline we're running for the offensive line. Nothing changes, okay? We are reading this kid, the first kid, head up or outside of the guard. Okay, and again, you can do this out of gun, you can do it out of any formation. This is unbalanced flex bone here. Okay? The tackle, the front side tackle and the front side tight end have the same rule all the time. They're taking the first guy outside. All right, and they are kicking him out. You have 2 different blocks here. The thing that makes this play really nice, especially if you have a good fullback, you have people that are blocking for this fullback running up the cylinder. Okay? And then you have people that are blocking for either this running back or the quarterback, depending on how you're doing it, in B gap. So basically, this tackle and this end are blocking for the quarterback or the running back. Okay, the difference, I should tell you this ahead of time. If we call midline belly, which this is, that means I don't like the way our quarterback runs. I don't think he's as good as our running back. We're going to run midline belly so that the second kid, the second option, is this kid right here. All right? If I have a super good quarterback that I like, that we've had a lot of, then I run midline follow. And the only difference between the 2 is instead of this kid motioning a little deeper to where he can get up for the belly, he motions a little flatter so he can get up and lead through for the quarterback. So it becomes like a quarterback ISO play. All right? So these guys here on this right-hand side, the tackle, the tight end, and this slot, are responsible for that block for that kid going in that B gap. Everybody else is responsible for the fullback going up the cylinder. So what you end up with is basically it's weird for the kids because this linebacker right here is the key. Because you got a guard coming in and kicking out on him for the fullback, and then you have this slot here coming and kicking the kid in case the quarterback's got it. So when you're first teaching it, it's like, you know, the slot's saying to you like, hey, I'm going to block the kid, and the guard's on him. What the hell's he doing? But it times up just right. If the fullback's got it, the guard's there for him. If the quarterback's got it or the other back has it, then it times up pretty well. Okay? So I have a ton of film on it. I'll just go through it again. I hate not facing you guys, but I'll do it. All right, this is midline belly, and I don't know how to pause it here. A stunt that people do is this right here. This is a pain in the ass, and Coach Jantzi obviously did a good job. This is like this guy coming down. Again, I wish I could pause it here. This 3 coming down in the back or coming over the middle before this slot can get to it. Right, we just had a really good team this year. It's the year we won the state championship. But if you look at everybody on the front side, if you can look at that tight end and tackle on the right, they're working their butts off to kick outside. The guard on the right-hand side is releasing inside that 3, taking the guy, and that works out okay. But we have different things that we can do. I'll show you a bunch of midline here. Off of this. show you one thing beforehand. I want you guys to watch this play. We talked about all right, I think this is it. Let me see here. Yeah. Okay. This is counter trade. It's one of the plays that we're going to look at in terms of triple option. But we talked about how you win with kids, different kids every single year. All right. I just want to watch this play with you guys and show you kind of the culture that we have to grow to in NT and everywhere that we've been. All right. In terms of how you play the game. Now, we had this little running back this year. This was the year before we won the States, I think, so it was 2008. And nobody could see him. That's not what I'm talking about, though. I want you to watch these linemen get off the ball, and I want you to watch this right tackle. Okay? This is a kid that probably weighed like 195 pounds, and we were pretty damn good. I think we won, and we were up 55 at half on this team. But if you watch number 50 there, just watch. Here he comes back into the screen. Then you watch this picture right here. There's 10 guys in the view. That's how you win. Okay, you get people running to the ball, you get people blocking, you get people excited. All right. I'm just going to start rolling through midline plays. I think we have end zone on these too, so you can see better. Some of them we do, some of them we don't. All right, so here we're like unbalanced. And we had a good quarterback this particular year, who I liked running it, so this would be midline follow. So this slot here is motioning, he's going out to the guy. The front side slot is always coming down for this middle linebacker, like I said. Now he's wrong. This slot has got to get inside the tackle. Okay, he tries to get outside and speed up. And these aren't highlights, these are just, I just called them up a couple days ago. Not a super good fake from the quarterback, but this fullback was pretty good. Okay, here you can see this kid's right at the point of attack and we're leaving him alone. You know, what kind of box you got there? You got everybody in the world there. All right? You have everybody in the world there, but you can find a seam if you do it right. Follow again. He's following number 20, becomes like quarterback ISO. If he decides not to get into the fullback, all right, it becomes like quarterback ISO with a kid that's really good running, following another kid. Okay, same scenario. This is the little kid that I was talking about to run. That got me out of trouble a lot of times. This is him. We didn't necessarily care if he got it or not, so a lot of times we ran belly. It hits quick. If you got a fullback that can hit it, it gets pretty scary because if teams are dancing around with their linebackers and stuff, watch how long it takes him to get to 10 yards deep here. stuff here. Okay, here's follow again. This is the same kid a couple of years ago. Here it is for the end zone. Now, I'm reading the first guy head upward outside the yard. A nose, you know, people think that a nose screws up midline. It doesn't really bother us, but this tackle is not used to doing this in the scheme that we're seeing. He's usually kicking out. Right now, based on the fact that we have this play called the way it is, he's got to release inside. He's not built for that. He's at Alfred, and he does a great job. But he's not built to veer step and get off of the kid. So he slows us down a little bit, but you can see that the kid, he's trying, but the kid's coming down hard, but we still end up with the seam in there. We're running on the safety. All right, so for you guys that want to be in spread and stuff, and that's good. If you're good at it, be good at it. I put up here, we call this formation spread left. You know, you can call it whatever you want to call it. Some people call it ace, etc. There's two different midline concepts that we run out of spread. One is where we're going to read the front side kid, and one is where we're going to read the backside kid. Okay, so this particular one we call it zone peak. We ran it at Orchard Park a lot because we ran gun a lot, and we had a quarterback that was fast, and we had a big fullback, we call him a running back, whatever you want to call him. But we were pretty good at running zone. We ran zone all the time. So everybody in the world runs zone read, where you're going to put the fullback here, and everybody zone steps and read this kid. Well, this is a little different. Basically, the front side is running zone, okay, and the back side, nothing changes. Again, keeping it simple for the kids to learn. Tackling tight end on midline, you just tell them, hey, zone peak is midline. That's all you tell them. Now you're reading this kid right here, okay? So you got everybody running zone, and the quarterback's just peeking at him, and if he decides he's going to chase that fullback, then the quarterback's up there. If he decides he's going to sit, well, then we're running zone, and we're in good shape. I've seen people that run RPOs and stuff off of it, where they actually run this play, and they peek at this outside linebacker here. If he wants to come up, then they just throw like a slant to that kid, so to speak. Okay? So we have two different ways where we're going to run it out of gun. One is where the quarterback's going backside, and one is where he's going front side. All right, and I'll show you the front side ones. I don't have any zone peak from our film at Orchard Park, but I have some, like I said, that I got from a team in Texas, so we can check that out. This will be the front side one. This isn't a super good angle. Obviously they have a good budget because they have a wide, a tight, and then a backside, or whatever you want to call it. But here you go. Okay, nothing's different other than the factor in the gun. Okay, it's like a pistol look or whatever you want to call it. But here's your read key. So we got to take care of him, and we got to take care of him, and then we got to read this guy. So we have a numbers advantage right now. And this quarterback's pretty good. But you can see when you're in the gun, the thing I like about the gun, it's like they can't help themselves. They have to go tackle the fullback. It's like too much time. They get impatient.
Eric, are you shifting that read key at all, like that guy did, or are you just releasing with your number one?
We usually want them to release. Now,
Okay.
that being said, if I have midline called to, if I have midline called to this kid, let's say I have midline called left, ideally we'd want to run it here to the right. If I have midline called to the left, the quarterbacks never check it to the right. Because their thinking is, I can make a solid call, which is going to tell that guard to block that kid, and he's going to check it to follow, and he's going to have a lead kid going through, and he doesn't have to read his way out there. Okay? So our quarterbacks come to the line of scrimmage, and we have 31 midline call to the left, and he sees that. He's screaming solid as soon as he sees it, saying, follow, follow, you know. And then this kid will lead through, and you have him outnumbered. And like I said, he doesn't have to read his way out. Okay? And you can do it out of any formation. I know that our slot is responsible for that inside linebacker, and I'll go back to that. But you can have a tight end be responsible for that. If you want to be in a spread set or something like that, you can have the tight end and the tackle just crisscross and go out. I know Frontier did that a lot when they were running it. Now, these guys are different, and I kind of like it out of gun. They're not making a solid call. They're just telling this kid, okay, try not to tackle the fullback. They're just leaving him alone. I wouldn't do this under center because it's too close.